I'm Jonathan Jaroshow, publisher of the Diabetes Digest family of magazines and diabetesdigest.com. And I'm here with Joy Pape, certified diabetes educator, who's going to talk about a lively subject now. We're going to be getting up out of our seats and doing some things.
That's right.
So Joy has written a few articles on walking more, being more active, and particularly walking more because that's one of your favorite exercise hobbies or activity hobbies. So why don't you tell us, Joy, some of the things that you've done, obviously, in your own life. You've lost a lot of weight through healthy eating and exercise, activity, and a pedometer has been a big part of the process. So let me give it over to you. And
it's so funny because people stop me and they go, "Gosh, you're in such great shape. You must exercise a lot." I say no, but then when I really think about it, I think I do because I do walk a lot. So a lot of times we hear about managing diabetes, food, activity. People think of exercise. They think they need to sweat. Think they need to go to a gym. Not necessarily so. They just need to be more active. We overestimate, how active we are. So what I have found was a lifesaver to me. For example, when I found out my numbers were starting to get high, I knew I was eating okay, but I knew I could be a little bit more active. I knew I wasn't going to join a gym. I knew that wasn't for me. What would I do? I would put on a pair of shoes and I'd go take a walk. So I got a pedometer, and I'm telling you something, this thing has been glued to me, I think, for the last 6 years. And it's changed my life. So I put a pedometer on and I started getting more active. Now, a lot of times people wear a pedometer, get 10,000 steps a day. And what I've learned is that can be daunting to a lot of people. People that are not very active at all, 10,000 steps is like 5 miles a day, and most people can't do near there. The point is be more active. But I always recommend getting a pedometer because it shows us how active one is. And I have to say, I recommend only this pedometer. It's Omron's HJ112, and the reason I recommend it is because it's accurate. I've used other pedometers before, and people weren't as happy as this one. It's a pocket pedometer. You can wear it on your waist, or you can wear it in your pocket, in your purse. The problem is your purse is not always with you, and if you're a guy, you're not wearing a purse.
well, yeah, I mean, also the good thing about the Omron pedometer is that it's available in a lot of different locations.
Right.
And so, the one that you're mentioning, if people want that specific one, the one that Joy Pape uses, they can get that pretty easily.
And there is a downloadable one like this. But anyway, I just say this because I think that people stick with things when they're working.
Right.
And also there's been some some study on this, that it's more accurate with the people that are older, like over 50, and people that are overweight. And so many of the clients that I work with are overweight, because a lot of times pedometers don't work for people that are overweight. But anyway, what we recommend is just wear it for a few days. This particular one resets itself every 24 hours, and it's got a 7-day memory, so you can look at what your last few days are. If the one that you're using doesn't have the memory, you need to write your amount of steps you get down. So I tell people to keep a record. Don't change anything for about the first 3 to 5 days. Do what they normally do, and find out how many steps a day they actually get. Then average out what it normally is, and then start bumping it up to what's realistic to them. So what people don't understand is 500 steps is about 5 minutes. So if you get 3,000 steps a day, well, for a week, every day, try to do 3,500 steps. That's only adding 5 minutes. The next week, maybe do 4,000 steps. Slowly bump it up until you are at goal. But be realistic about your goal. Again, someone can say 10,000 steps. If someone thinks that's what they need to hit, they'll give up. It may be too much. Do something that's realistic. Like I've told people, 10,000 steps is a goal for me certain days, but as a writer for Diabetes Digest, those days I don't walk as much. I have a different goal for my writing days, but I do have a goal. Okay, so people always have an excuse of why they can't do something, okay? So the first excuse is, I don't have time. People say I don't have time to exercise. My answer to that is, we always find time to do the things we want to do.
Right.
Think about that. Okay, so you want to watch a TV program? You usually will. You know what I do? Countless television programs, countless newscasts.
I have a feeling you're going to show me what you do.
I would watch like this. This is the way I watch TV. Not saying the whole time, but if I decide I want to get a certain amount of steps or I know my goal, I'll check my pedometer, and then I know that I've reached my goal. What about, most people have to clean up the kitchen at night. Put on music I like and dance around. One of my favorite evenings is putting on music I really love, and that's when I start cleaning the house. So there's so many things to do. You can step in place.
Mhm.
You can, when you're waiting at the grocery store, there's plenty of places to wait. There's plenty of places to get the steps. But this is one of my favorite stories. I moved to New York, and I was on a bus, and I didn't know where I was going. I mean, where to get off. So I asked the bus driver. She was a large, overweight woman, and I said, "Where do I get off?" And she told me. And so I got off a few stops earlier. And she said, "Oh no, it's too early to get off." And I said, "Oh, I know, but I'd rather walk." And she said to me, "Why walk when you can ride?" And I said to her, "Why ride when I can walk?"
Well, I think that's well put. I think most people, not just with diabetes, I think most people in general, look at exercise as something burdensome, and I think the fact that you talk about activity and not exercise is a really key component in getting people more interested in embracing the concept.
Right.
Is that if you say the word exercise, or if you used to say the word exercise, I'm sure that's how it was perceived. But I think more and more you'll see, certainly from the American Diabetes Association and publications, certainly in ours, we always talk about physical activity. And that means that if you're walking fast, biking, walking through a mall, whatever it is, moving, you can count all that towards your activity, and people feel a little bit better about that.
Right. And sometimes for people that are really sedentary, especially if it's a husband and wife, I'll usually say to the husband, "All I'm asking you to do this week is not asking her to get it for you."
Very good. Very good.
And that gets the ball rolling.